Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto, Willies, your host. Today we are honored to have Carol Joyner, who is the Executive Director of Family Values at Work Action. Carol, welcome to Politics Done Right.
Thank you for having me, Egberto.
Well, let me tell you something. The first thing that I saw in the name of your group is care. At that point, you had me won over. Tell me a little bit about your organization.
Care is the core of our work.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about care, yes, we believe in healthcare. We've got to have healthcare for everyone,
Right.
but we're talking about another variety of care, which is care for yourself.
Right.
Paid family and medical leave, child care, paid sick and safe days, home care services, disability services, even abortion care, right? These are the issues that we ignore in our society and that every single person needs. And so our organization, Family Values at Work Action, is the C4 of a 20-year-old organization called Family Values at Work. And that organization was founded when California passed the first paid family and medical leave law in the country.
Mm-hmm.
You may know that the United States is one of very few countries without any kind of national standard for paid leave.
Right.
And so when California passed that law, it was a big deal, and other states jumped in to try to do it.
You know, it is shameful that we call ourselves an advanced society, and you have places like the Scandinavian countries that they see the value in people. Here, interestingly, you don't find these countries talking about family values, but we speak a lot about family values. The last thing we do is value
family.
So when I saw this inside of your name, it was like, we have to start discussing this. These are progressive principles that everybody wants. And then we call ourselves a center-right country. It's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
So the reality is we are not. We are very much wanting these particular values. So tell me, why is it that we don't have them, and what is it that your organization is going to do to educate folks into saying, we don't just want this, we demand this?
So, as I said earlier, California passed paid leave also 20 years ago.
Right.
And at that time, we didn't have any in the country.
Right.
Now we have passed paid family and medical leave in 14 states, including DC.
Right.
And in those states, people do not have to beg and plead to take time off to welcome a new baby, to address their family's needs if there's military deployment,
Right.
to care for a sick family member, recover from your own illness, like maybe hip replacement or cancer or whatever you might be dealing with, right? They can just say to their employer, I'm taking time off.
Right.
And I need it for this reason on this date. They might have to show a doctor's note if it requires medical justification, but the money is pooled together in the social insurance fund.
Right.
It does not come from the employer.
Right.
So in California, everyone pays a teeny tax.
Right.
It costs possibly a cup of coffee.
Right.
In other places, sometimes employers and employees pay a tax.
Right.
And that money is what funds these policies.
Right,
for paid
right.
family and medical leave. Where paid sick days is concerned, that's the shorter period of time, 3 or 4, 5, 6 days you may need to recover from a cold, to pick your child up from school or something like
for
that.
For a family emergency.
For a family emergency,
Right.
exactly. Those are mandates where in 19 states, employers are required to allow you to take that time off. And we passed those laws with many other partners. Family Values at Work didn't do that by ourselves. Family Values at Work Action just came along in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't been building power like that for long. However, we have been part of the care infrastructure for a very long time. And so those are the policies that we have been passing on the ground. Our goal, because we know, if I listed some of the states, you would say, well, those are all blue states.
Right.
And those are easier to pass, although they're very hard, but
Right.
easier to pass at the legislature
Right.
because you have some progressive legislators,
Right.
What happens in red states? Well, the only thing I can say is that we have to address gerrymandering in those legislatures. We've got to create the conditions to pass these kind of family supportive policies in those states. But in Georgia, what they have done through Republicans is to at least pass paid leave for public sector workers
Right.
in the state of Georgia. So
Right.
they have that. But our nation, as you know, is really focused on individuality, right? What you can do for yourself as an individual, not collectively, unless we're talking about bailing out corporations.
I am
Right?
so happy that, as you were saying that we're an individualist country, I was waiting to see where you're going to go there. And the reason why is corporations have made us believe that there's something to individualism.
Exactly.
But at the same, and the only reason they do that is so that we don't ask for or we don't demand from them. But at the same time, they're asking for individualism. They're wanting collectivism for the things that benefit them. And it's and what you are doing in educating people on no. We've earned this. It's not a matter of, it's not a favor that a corporation is doing when they give family leave. To put it bluntly, I'd like to take it out of the hands of corporations. I'd like to make it that this is how we run as a society. We have paid leave whenever, under the constraints that society builds around it. We have paid maternal, paternal care, how society determines it's going to be. Child care. And have businesses conform to humanity and not the other way around.
And to be honest, right now, what businesses will say in each and every one of the laws that have passed is that we're already doing this.
No.
We're already providing paid leave. And the statistics show that only 24% of private sector employers provide any level of paid leave. And oftentimes, workers have to pay in to an insurance fund in order to get access to it. And so it's not universally inside of their own organizations. And then 75% of the population is left out. And so this mentality about individuality serves corporate interests, but it hurts American families.
Yeah, I mean, that's, and what we've also done in the country, and you can speak to this, is we've indoctrinated so many into believing that supporting corporate beliefs first is good for them. And that is the thing that I think organizations like yours can turn around. It's not corporations first. If they're made whole, we make it whole. That's just another form of trickle down.
Yep.
It is really that we come first. If we are happy, we can collectively make you happy.
Exactly.
And that's why I think we all have to be blessed that we have organizations like yours that are out there doing the heavy lifting and the heavy work, because I sit down and beg that we have more people doing this.
Well, last year, when Minnesota passed paid family and medical leave, they did it after trying for many, many years.
Yes.
But they only did it after they were able to flip one of their chambers and
I
have
remember,
a trifecta.
yes.
And they passed a suite of really progressive policies like paid family leave, paid sick days, important policies for immigrant workers, all kinds of policies, right? And that's what happens when good people go to the polls, vote their conscience, and vote for what we really, really need in huge numbers. And we need to see that in November.
And and I'm glad that you're out there doing that, because also people are just looking at the top of the ticket. I don't really give a damn about just the top of the ticket. We got to make sure that from the municipalities to the on up, that we elect people that care. Elect people that care. Give me a closer.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this conversation. I'm hoping folks at Netroots, if they're watching this, will go to our booth. We have an exhibit booth here at Netroots. We're giving out amazing swag, but we're also asking people to draft cards to their members of Congress, calling for these policies, asking members of Congress to be champions. Find us at www.FamValuesAction. Join our list. Fund our work. We desperately need funding because we're helping our network partners put boots on the ground to turn out this very important vote.
Carol Joyner of Family Values at Work Action. Thank you so kindly for speaking to me.
Take good care.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.